Hey, cutie pies. I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps General Hospital Edition. Today is Tuesday, April the 26th, 2022. And honestly, I'm going to have to give this 1 out of 10. You know how we do it. I'm going to give this like a 8. Because there was some parts on there I was like, okay, y'all just giving these people storylines. So General Hospital loves to work all their actors a lot. Okay. So getting to this, we see Smoltz is at Nina's place, and he's like, "Give me a story, give me a story, give me your side of the story or whatever. You don't want to tell your side." And she's like, "No, I do not, sir." Mama, like, what are you doing? She's like, "No, I do not, sir, and you need to stop harassing me." And he's just like, Michael has this sleazy, well, not sleazy, but this story going on about you, and you don't want to give your perspective. And she was like, "No, I do not." And so she said she tried to close the door on him, and he put his foot up. I said, "Sir, you can't do that. Like, what are you doing?" And so she says, "I'm calling security." And then before she could call security, she said, "What are you doing?" He came on in her apartment. She was like, "What are you doing in my apartment?" See, this is why I don't like Smoltz. And I know y'all like Michael and Willow and everything, but the fact that he goes to somebody creepy like Smoltz just so one, he can get him to drop charges, and then two, to make Nina looks bad. Like everything that y'all love about Michael, I can't stand, because I'm like, you're just as bad. But anyways, I know y'all like it. So Sasha comes in and she said, "Hey, get out of here!" And so he leaves or whatever. Girl. So he leaves and everything. And so she and Nina start talking, and they start talking about how Nina, she just asked Nina, "Don't you feel unsafe with Sonny?" And Nina was like, "Mm." She don't feel unsafe with him or whatever. And she says, "Well, you know those guys that robbed the place, they got out or whatever. They got a high priced lawyer and got on bail." And she was like, "Yeah, Sonny took care of it. He said he took care of it." She said, "Nina, you didn't ask him what how?" And she said, "Mm-mm." She said, "When you're gonna be in Sonny's world, the less questions you ask, the better." I mean, it is what it is. The less you know, the better for you. And so Sasha just says, Nina tells her Brando's not in Sonny's world anymore like that or everything, and y'all are good or whatever. And then Nina says out loud for the first time that yes, she would like to be in a relationship with Sonny. And she's just like, wow, because and Sasha was like, "Is that the first time you said it out loud?" And she was like, "Yeah," and actually think that she could actually have that. So then we see Sasha talks about, the mistakes she's made and how she feels like, you have to pay for those mistakes. And she said, and Nina says, "If you're trying to say that Liam passing was because of your past mistakes, don't even believe that or think like that and everything." So that, anyways, they had a nice little conversation. Moving right along, because this was not the good. It was good, but this is not the good part. So then we see, okay, we're gonna go to Elizabeth and Finn are sitting there talking, and she decides she wants to go to the Metro Court and stay. Girl, you running from yourself, but okay. She decides she wants to go to the Metro Court and stay. You know, to feel a little bit safer. So she got a room there and everything, and they're talking, and Lucy comes up and she tells them, "Oh, hey, how did Aiden's school project go?" And they said, "Lucy, he lied. He didn't have a school project. It was about ghosts." And she said, "Oh, well, I can see why some people would not want to." Say that out loud because people ridicule you. And then here comes Finn. I'm sorry, I can't stand Finn. Here comes Finn. Yeah, because it's crazy. Yeah, because it's not true. And then he jumps all down Lucy's throat. Yeah, the damage you did by talking to him about it and everything. And she was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." So then they tell Lucy everything that's going on with Elizabeth or whatever. And Finn apologizes, and she says, "Apology accepted," or whatever. And then he says, "Let me go. Your room is ready, so let me go and put your bags up." So that gives Elizabeth and Lucy time to talk. And Lucy says, "Listen, if you want me to bring in a meeting to see if there's any spirits or anything around, I'll be happy to do that." Now Elizabeth is intrigued because she kind of thinking, well, what if it's a ghost of Franco? Because she told Lucy about thinking she heard his voice, but it was just a patient or whatever. And so when Lucy leaves, Finn is like, "Oh, I hope I didn't scare her off. I mean, I wouldn't want him to be around you, but whatever." She says, Lucy's made it tougher than that, and he was like, she would have to be to believe in what she believes in, and he was like, because that's just crazy, that's just nonsense and all that, not knowing if Elizabeth is about to do this nonsense. Moving right along, because I'm sorry, I'm not spending a lot of time on people that didn't. I don't care about their storylines. So moving right along, we see that Sonny is talking to. Okay, I'm gonna just get these two over with, Michael and Willow. So Willow is like, you're justified in how you feel. I don't care what y'all say. I don't like Michael or Willow. You're justified in how you feel about your father and everything. And I'm like, okay. And so she said, but I blame Nina for this because she kept him away when he was in Nixon Falls, and he was like, he's a different man. See, this is what make it make sense to me. Because you say you don't like Sonny the way he is, and you want to clean up the Corinthos name and all the violence and crime and yada, yada, yada. But if he was still with your mama, would you still be saying that? I don't think so. And that's why I can't stand Michael and Willow, because it's a bunch of hypocrites. It's hypocritical, because if he was still with Carly, you wouldn't feel the way you felt, because he always put family first. It was always about family first, but that still didn't take away from him being a criminal. That doesn't take away from that. But whatever, y'all liked him, so we'll keep going. So Willow is just supporting Michael, as she should. She's just supporting Michael about his decision to take Sonny's out of his life. And she said, "Now, but listen, I did that with Harmony. You should have kept doing that with Harmony, because that girl is crazy." She said, "I did that with Harmony, and I'm telling you, like, that's hard or whatever." And she said, "Are you sure you don't want to ever, have him in or talk?" And he said, "You heard him. He said I would have to beg or whatever." And then she tells Michael, "I know you're trying to protect Wiley, and you don't want, because so now Wiley can't be around Sonny either." She said, "I know you wanted to protect Wiley, and you don't want to be around you don't want him to be around Sonny, but please don't turn into the man that you are trying to keep Wiley from, like this hard guarded man or whatever." And I'm like, can't stand Michael and Willow. So moving right along. So we see Dante and Sonny's in the gym, and he called Dante or whatever. And Dante, glove up. He need to get out some aggression. I would have told him, no thanks. Like, you're not about to touch all over me because you ticked off about something. But anyways, he starts talking to Dante, and he tells Dante about Michael. And Dante, I mean, Sonny, you can't get mad because Dante said he could see it from both ways. But Dante said he could see it from both ways or whatever. And he said, but I understand what Sonny's saying, because I say the same thing all the time when it comes to these little kids or these adult kids getting in their adult parents' business. Like, who Sonny wants to be with, that's not your business. Who Carly is with, that's not your business. If your mama and daddy are together, that's not your business. Be an adult. Worry about your own relationship. Like, come on now. But anyways, so Sonny get ticked off at Dante, and he was like, "Oh, so now both my sons gonna tell me I'm a bad person or whatever." So Brando walks in at this time, because he had talked to Lucy earlier, and he was talking about Sasha and everything. I don't know why he put them in around, but he was talking about Sasha, and she was finding them a house and everything. So he said he gonna be doing it to help, like, get some of the pressure and everything off Sasha. So he gonna be the one finding a home and all that. So then we go back to Brandon. Brandon walks in. He told Sonny, because Dante walks off, he got a phone call. He said, "I don't know what's going on here, but you don't want to talk about it." And Sonny says, he starts telling him about Michael, and everything. And Brando said, "Well, I mean, that's kind of your fault." He was like, Sonny told Brando that he worked hard and everything. Everything he's done is to give his children a better life than he had. And, just so they would want for nothing. And Brando said, "Well, that's, I understand, but that's kind of your fault." And Sonny said, "Listen, I had it out with Michael. I had it out with Dante. I don't have the capacity to argue with you." And Brando said, I'm not taking a side, but I'm not, but he said, but what I'm trying to tell you is Michael has had a privileged life. He got all the perks of being Sonny Corinto's son. Then he gets all the perks of being a Quartermain. So he said Michael sees things as black and white. When there's all and Brando says, I didn't get, I lived in that gray area, he was like, I was raised by an abuser and all that kind of stuff. And the way he came up, he said, so I know everything's not black and white. And he was like, whatever you got going on with Nina, that's your business or whatever. And so Sonny was like, it's just nice to have somebody listen to him and understand where he was coming from or whatever. So he tells Sonny, just listen to listen to it from Michael's perspective. Just be open to their perspective and everything as well. But I understand your side of this too, or whatever. And so when Dante comes back, he says, he's not trying to fight with Sonny and all that. And Sonny apologizes to Dante, and Sonny just was like, I'm stressed. And Dante says, listen, whatever is going on between you and Michael, don't cross that line where y'all say things you can't come back from. Sonny said, your warning is hours too late, because they're done with each other for right now. They'll be at Christmas with each other. It is what it is. But anyways, all right. So then we get to the meat of this episode, right? Okay. So Harmony is in the driver's seat of Carly's vehicle, and she gets out, right? She hops out, and she's like, God, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to have to do this, but you left me no choice. Everything I'm doing for Willow. And so she picks up a big rock. I said, girl, you about to smash Carly's head with this rock? She not. I'm dramatic. She took the rock and she put it down on the gas pedal or whatever. And she told Carly, you're not going to feel, I just need to move you to the front seat and everything. And you're not going to feel any pain because, she got Carly doped up. And so, yeah, she's not going to feel any pain. So, how does that work where people can put, I guess they moved the rock at the last minute, right? Is that what you would do? I don't know, child, but she says you're not going to feel any pain. And so Harmony get ready to do what she do, which is put Carly in the driver's seat and then push her off the cliff in her vehicle. And she hears wrestling in the woods, and so she lowers the trunk, and it's Alexis. Now, I would have liked to see the original Alexis play this part, just because I'm invested, but they have the new Alexis playing her part temporarily. And so she was like, Harmony, what are you doing? And she said, Alexis, just leave. And then so Alexis started telling her, I found this piece of paper in the chimney, but it all didn't burn, and it had Neil's handwriting on it. I've talked about Neil many times. You said you didn't know him. And so Harmony says, Alexis, just let it go. If Brandon hadn't came to town, and she said, what about Brandon? She said, wait, Harmony, did you kill Brandon? And so Harmony is trying to explain to Alexis that she was Neil's patient. Neil lost his license. Then he got to feeling all guilty and stuff and wanting to confess and everything after she had told him everything or whatever. And she said, so I had to get rid of him. She said, Brandon. She said, Neil. I said, Alexis, keep up. And so she said, whose vehicle is this? Wait, is this Carly's vehicle? And she says, Harmony, what is going on? So now Alexis knows Harmony killed Brandon and Neil. She said, I tried to stay away from you, but you needed a friend, so I had to come over and be your friend and everything. She said, I didn't want any of this to happen. But she said, but Brandon just wouldn't leave me alone. He wouldn't let up. He wouldn't just go away. And she said, what about Carly? No, she said, okay. And Alexis, she starts hearing a thump because Carly, she not together, but she know enough to let me thump, trying to hope somebody will hear me. And Alexis says, what is that? And she says, nothing. She says, there's someone in the vehicle. And she says, no. And she says, Alexis, let me go. I'm about to leave town. And so Alexis says, you promise to leave? And she says, yes. So Harmony gets in the vehicle or whatever, which she should have locked the doors, but she didn't. So Harmony gets in the vehicle, and when she gets in, Alexis runs to the trunk of Carly's vehicle, and she sees Carly in there. When she says, Carly? And then Harmony comes in the back, and she said, Alexis, why? Why did you have to do this? And Alexis says, what are you doing? What does Carly have to do with any of this? She says she came and she found out too much information, so now I have to get rid of her. And now I have to get rid of you too, because you know too much. That damn Harmony is crazy. Crazy. I said, okay, Harmony, what we about to do now? And so that was how I went off. She told Alexis, you know too much, and I got to keep my relationship with Willow. I said, damn, you doing all this to keep a relationship with Willow? I mean, I can't stand her, but you love her because that's your daughter and everything. This gonna be a mess because I saw on spoilers where Nina gonna find out all this information and she gonna run right to Scotty Baldwin. Woo. I don't know, y'all, but you let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you for another episode of What Happened on the Soaps General Hospital.